All right, so just to wrap it up pretty quick here, 2 concepts to 10x your leadership. It sounds like a huge marketing term. 10x. What the hell, right? Let's do this. All right, leader's intent. Has anyone heard of any military in the room or former military? All right, so leader's intent is a tremendously valuable technique. And it goes back to what you said with regard to self-direction and having people making decisions on their own. It's 3 parts. It's a task. So it's the what, it's the why, and the end state of what right looks like. All right, so I'll paint a picture quickly here, and I apologize. I recognize we're running a bit behind. D-Day, paratroop drop. Their job was to drop behind the beach, and their job was to take bridges, seize particular bridges, so that the Germans, so 2 reasons. 1, to keep the bridges intact for our guys to use them to go inland. And also, they knew the Germans would use those bridges, obviously, to reinforce the beach. Paratroop happens. How did that go? Bad. If anyone's seen Band of Brothers or any other show, I think the number was 75 to 80% of the paratroopers dropped in the wrong spot. They're getting shot down. The jump master's like, dudes, get out of here. You're better off in the air than in this bullet magnet, so on and so forth. And yet, the paratroop operation was successful. And here's why it was. Here's why it was. They knew the task. They knew what bridge. So let's say you 6 are a platoon. I would say you go to bridge 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You seize it. Perfect. But here's why. We need those bridges intact for our guys. And also, by the way, the Germans are going to be using those same bridges to come reinforce the beach. So find your bridge, hold it. Make sure they don't blow it up. Cool. I go to this platoon. You guys are bridge 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's your bridge. Here's why. Okay, you got to hold on to that bridge because the Germans, A, are going to be using it to get, pummel our guys. But we also need those bridges intact for when we go inland. Sound good? All right. So we do that across thousands of paratroopers down to the platoon level. So what happens when we land on the ground? I don't know where I am. There's no GPSs. So what do?
Find a bridge.
Find a bridge and hold it. Exactly. And then, by the way, along the way, I'm from 101st, and I'm walking, and or maybe tactically, I don't know how. I've never been in. It's like Elmer Fudd, right? Is that going to find a bridge? But then, so I come across somebody from the 82nd. What's our conversation?
Where's the bridge?
Yeah. Hey, dude, you know where we are? No. And the second part is that, boy, we should have had more Canadians. It would have gone better. But then, so we do a fist bump, right? And then we go find a bridge. So it's you and I. I don't know who he is. I don't know. You don't know me. We've never worked together. But hey, we know why. So we find a bridge and we hold it. It's not the right bridge, but it doesn't matter at this point. We go find a bridge and we hold on to it. And that's happening at the tactical level across the countryside. That's leader's intent. So think about it from now an operational, like a public safety perspective. Hey, here's our intent. It's kind of like an objective. By 1400 hours, I want a hall system set up. Here's why. Because that's our primary, means that we're going to get the person out. So the end state is I want the full system in place. I want belays in place and so on and so forth. Ready to go. Go. That's different than, hey, all right. We're going to have to do a hall system. I want a knot here. I want a knot here. I want 4 beaners here. I need pressing man pulley, whatever that looks like. Well, what is the difference? Why is that such an advantage, leader's intent?
The objective is to know everything.
Yes, that is a big part of it. What else?
Frees up the leader.
Why? How does it?
Because he doesn't have to do everything.
From a selfish perspective, I use this all the time. Because it frees me up to do what? Big picture, communicate with resources coming in, plan ahead. Hey, by the way, if this hall system craters, shoot, what are we going to do? Well, dark's at 1800. I got to come up with a contingency, don't I? But if I'm tying knots, if I'm doing all those things, I don't have visibility into that.
It also shows respect for your team because you've got confidence that they're going to do it right.
Totally. And we call that the power paradox. I actually get more power by giving it away. I'm telling you, hey, I trust you. You're a senior guy. Go set up the hall system. Boom. So if you're the senior guy, got it, chief. Good. Awesome. And then you go do the tactical. And here's the other part of it, is now you go away and you're starting to do the hall system, let's just say. Guess what? When you get out to that scene or you figure out where it's going to be, you make the decision on the best way to do this based on what you're coming across. All right? So then the last one here that we'll talk about, 5 communication responsibilities. Brief, debrief, and actually before I forget to, I'll jump ahead right at the very, very end to show you how to get access to this presentation. I apologize. Debrief, communicate hazards to others, acknowledge and understand messages, and ask if you don't know. And I would submit to you, if you do leader's intent and if you do your communications responsibilities, your effectiveness will go through the roof. All right, just those 2 things. And they're easy to do. They're simple to enact.